Hi everyone, I hope your week is doing well. Just a quick reminder, I'm at Whitehall for my practicum, which is a residential treatment facility that works with adolescent males ages 13 through 18 who have sexually offended. This week it was kind of pretty slow, but on Tuesday around 05, we had a call come across the radio that said that a youth had left Whitehall campus and was on the run, and two staff members were following him on foot. The other therapist and I kind of assessed what exactly we should do and determined that just to kind of make sure that the staff as well as the client was safe, we'd hop into a car and at least kind of follow behind him and see if we could talk to the youth and to try to get him to come back to Whitehall. That lasted about 2 hours. We don't put our hands on the youth unless they are a danger to themselves or others. So basically, staff just had to follow behind them. We were in the car. We tried to attempt to get the youth to go back to Whitehall. That didn't work. Basically walking the streets, and there was a time where the youth looked like he was going to attempt to dart into traffic. We did call the police. Well, the on-call supervisor called the police, but got hung up on, and then the other therapist that I was with decided to call the police again because it was getting late, it was getting dark. Obviously, staff couldn't just walk around with him. He didn't have a coat on. And so we called the police, and it was kind of disheartening because we called the non-emergency number, and they didn't seem too concerned about the youth, even though the therapist had said, his age, that he was a ward of the state, that, he was potentially, the safety of others and to himself, that it was that we needed to get him back to Whitehall. And so they basically told us to just kind of wait for an officer to arrive, and if we saw one, to flag him down. It was more of like they were annoyed that we were calling them for help. Finally, officers did arrive because the other staff had flagged him down. And so when the therapist and I arrived, again, there's two officers, weren't very helpful. The one asked if we could transport the youth, but since the therapist had her personal car, obviously that wasn't an option. So we were going to call back at Whitehall to see if we could get a state car to come and pick up the youth, because the officer told us that he had a bike in the back of his vehicle and didn't have room for him. And so it was kind of a little chaotic, but eventually the other officer that had another squad car said, "Hey, I'll take him, not a big deal." We were able to get the youth back. The officer brought him back. We took staff back, and the officer came in, spoke with youth, made a report, or got information for his report as well as ours, and that's where I had left it. I haven't been back since Tuesday. I go in tomorrow to see kind of where on our end where the youth is, and exactly what we're gonna do. He's basically waiting for placement, so I understand why he ran. He doesn't have anyone, no supports. And I think he was just kind of at wit's end. I guess my question is, has anyone else had this kind of reaction from, those that we call for help, the police, when dealing with youth or emergencies like this, where it's just kind of like you feel like you're put on the back burner and it's not that important? Like I said, it was pretty disheartening, and I hope this isn't a reoccurrence of how they feel about this population. All right, well, you guys have a great rest of your week, and woohoo, one more. Thanks.